And welcome back to another edition of the Lakers Snack Pack. And I am here with my special guest, Mr. Yummy Swoot himself, or as I have dubbed him, the incomparable one. You're one of a kind, brother. You're like Dr. Gonzo from Fear and Loathing.
I'll take that.
Yeah, man. No,
I'll take that. 24/7, 365.
That's a great quote, right? Too rare to die.
As your fellow podcaster, I recommend you take a hit of
Yeah.
a small brown bottle in the brown
Absolutely.
black bag I have in the hotel.
I owe you the deepest apologies. We should have gone live about half an hour ago, but
All right.
I was doing some special cooking.
Okay.
All right, and I've got a really great neighbor, and he was like, "Hey, Sean, I smell something weird coming out of your basement." I was like, "Uh-oh, a bag popped. A bag popped." So luckily, we were able to save the patient, Jamie, but I want to apologize because I should have gone on earlier, but we're here now.
We'll be concise.
And,
I'll try not to blather.
So this is game 2, brother. Western Conference Finals. We are now acclimatized to that environment. So I don't want to hear any of that stuff tonight.
Agreed.
You've been in Denver for 3 whole days.
Yep.
Adjusted. Now is go time. So
Yep.
I first game, let's put it in the basket. It's done. It's on to game 2. Let's talk about some adjustments, Jamie. And one of the adjustments I want to see is they need to run their asses off tonight. And you need to run over the screens, not under them, because that was pissing me off. I was almost about you and me are pretty cool dudes, I find, when it comes to actually watching the game. But I wasn't cool after I saw about the third time that somebody went under instead of over, and it got me angsty, Jamie. I don't know about you, but it got me angsty. So I want to see a better effort, especially on the boards.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
So a couple things. Technical issues aren't anything new to me these days. I was also locked out of the blog for about a week. A little less than a week because the
snafus and uh-ohs are a part of this job.
100%. So that there was a $5 that I was gonna before every series I'd been dropping a $5 like what I'd like to see.
Yes.
So I didn't get to drop it. I take the part of the loss because the Lakers didn't.
And by the way, I just have to say they are always well written, but the pros lately has been like you're in a zone.
I am in a zone. Where the Lakers are in a zone. It's easy to write about something when the Lakers are doing well. When they're not doing well, I get a little bit like. So the last 2 years has been a lot of. So I'm with you. Controlling the glass, get into them a little more physically. I thought we had better physicality against Golden State, and I don't know if that's because we were matching the aggression of the other team. Golden State's a physical team. They hold, they grab, they slide on the screens by about 6 inches consistently, and then they whine about the calls, right? Denver doesn't need to do that. Denver's skilled enough and has enough weapons around Jokic that work. They don't need to pull those little antics yet. They'll get there. They'll get there. They'll get they're big. They have enough length to bother everybody on our team. The one thing I didn't like the most off the bat was seeing Schroeder starting again. And I get that it worked in game 6 against Golden State, but this is different. And I was a little shocked that the staff didn't just know that they had to learn that lesson. I didn't think that was a lesson we needed to learn. I thought that you had to put somebody like that Reeves. It's not because of any lacking on Schroeder or Dennis's or D'Lo's part, although they're both a little, Schroeder especially is a little undersized for this team. I would have, and Reeves is just too willowy at the 3. He can't bang with Gordon, and he can't keep up with Murray, which means he's going to be on whoever the shooting guard is, whoever's coming off the bench. So I think you got to slide Reeves back to the 2. I think I think we lost your audio again, Sean. Just FYI, I saw you talking just now, and I didn't hear you. Oh, there you are.
Jamie, I was going to say, I'm in. You're bringing up some great points there. Is that unfortunately Reeves is just limited what he can do against their wings,
Back
their half of their front court, right? They're 3 and
all,
4s. It's like
all
very
three
limited.
can't hang. Now everybody's on the blog. Tom posted a whole article about starting Hachimura, and that's going to be the next big adjustment. I think they could go that way. There's another way I think they might and should go, and I think it speaks more to what you said when we started this off, which is run it down their throats. And I would start Schroeder. I would start D'Lo. You can't start Dennis. If you want to sign D'Lo in the summer, you can't start Dennis. You can take him out after like 5-7 minutes and say, well, we tried, didn't work. We were getting run. You can't start. Not in game 2, game 6, game 5. If it gets to a game 7, okay, that's like when you do that. You can't disrespect D'Lo with a game 2 demotion, without letting him at least try to adjust and like pick up his own game, right? Like you got to give him the shot to pick up his own game. That's just from that standpoint. So you got to start D'Lo. Reeves D'Lo and Reeves. There's no change in that, in my opinion. It's the best starting backcourt we got. I would put Walker at the 3 because Walker's big enough to keep up, big enough to stay on Gordon, big enough, but faster than Hachimura, stronger than Reeves at the 3, taller than Reeves at the 3, or about the same size. And I would start LeBron on Nikola and have AD play free safety off of whoever. That's how I would start the game. And then I would have that Hachimura card to deploy more strategically. I think both Jokic and Malone are too good to be like, oh, Rui Hachimura, I don't know what we're going to do now. It's not that simple. It won't be that simple. He's too good. He's just too good. And that's the problem. He's way better than Draymond Green. You could get away with putting like somebody who just is going to stand there and go like this on Draymond Green because Draymond doesn't want to move either. Nikola will start backing Hachimura down. He'll get him in foul trouble. Denver gets him the bonus. Now they're going to double us up on free throws. That can't be how tonight goes. I think you're right. I would put our fastest, tallest lineup on the floor to start, and I would bring Schroeder off the bench. Hold on a second.
Okay. That's exactly same Mikasa, Sukasa. I'm thinking, Jamie, my house, your house. We're thinking the same things. I'm so conflicted here because he loves that 3-guard lineup so much. He's probably going to go to it again at some point now. If I was him, I would pick my spots with that. I wouldn't go. That wouldn't be my go-to. I'm with you. Start Rui, bring Dennis off the bench. I think that's the best way to go. I would invert the game plan that they had last time. I'm with you. Like, just run it. They had way too many easy transition opportunities. It's not like they ate in transition, but the opportunities they got, they feasted on them, and we can't allow that. Another thing, Jamie, we need to be like really patient tonight because what I saw against Memphis and Golden State, even though they were two very different defensive teams, was that the Lakers were able to be patient enough to wait for double screens. Like if the original one wasn't there when AD and LeBron were running it, AD would ask Austin to come up or D'Lo to come up. They would set another one, and there would be opportunities there. They didn't do that in game 1. I want to see a repeat of that, especially if you can do it in the half court. Our half court offense is just as good as theirs. We just sucked the crap on defense. That's what happened. We kept relieving ourselves through those 3 quarters. That can't happen. Like I realize everybody was enamored and excited about the 126 points we scored, but we're not gonna be able to score 133 every night. We need to hang our hat on defense, try and clamp him down as much as possible in the high post, because Michael Malone was correct too when he said there's nothing new about what the Lakers did in the fourth quarter. And that's what I was thinking in my head when we were having the discussions about it. It's like, yeah, what we did was good, but it wasn't anything new.
It's not enough to break their game. And the problem is that this is what you allowed Jokic to score 34 points and dish 14 assists, which means he was responsible for, at a minimum, 62 points, probably closer to 70, 75 with threes, right? Unacceptable. It's not going to work. You can't do it. Like, it's never going to make it. You're not going to win. You will not win playing the game that way. And so start double T.
Daniel giving me chest pains.
Yeah, no.
Before we even start the game.
No, we can't start double T. He'll just get worked. There's a part of me that's like, you put Gabriel on him, who's a little taller, he'll just back him down. He's too light.
Yeah,
he'll just get backed down and abused.
That's
why I say on Rui, not Rui, and not Rui in the starting five.
Yeah, I would really just live if I was the coaching staff, and obviously, like, we're seeing eye to eye here. Like, we really only have a 3-man front court in this series. Yeah. It's Rui, LeBron, AD. Yeah, basically. So got to just lock it in that those 3 guys are going to have to rotate at those 2 positions. If you can squeeze in somebody else there for like 2 to 3, because somebody needs a blow, okay. I'm not comfortable with either Wenyen or Mo Bamba being out there. So there's very limited minutes outside of that, because
I'm not comfortable with Vando on Jokic either.
I mean, Vando, but I mean, who are you putting Vando on tonight? Because we've seen that Darvin might go to him for 17 minutes, or he might go to him for 8.
He has to back up AD.
Yeah,
he has to back up AD.
So who you put Vando on? Do you stick him on Murray? Give that a shot, because
MPJ, Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, again, Vando's a really good defender, but he's limited in what he can do. Just a lot of it is either, you know what it is, Jamie, like you said, you're not big enough and bulky enough to hang, or you're a little too wiry for their guards or their front court, because they got a bulky front and they got speedy guards. So
everybody has to have. That's why much more is. You can't just put him on Jokic. You also need him to be able to slide over onto MPJ, onto Aaron Gordon, and even But then you still need to counter the speed of Murray, Brown. I forget the other guy that's on there, and they even had.
They got the Brown twins, Christian Brown, but it looks like Braun. And then
that's right. Yeah.
And then Bruce
I'm
Brown,
like, and what's even crazier is when you think, like, they had Bones Highland up until the trade deadline, and they had another like fast can hit shots guy.
If they didn't trade him, they wouldn't really have the issues they've been having in the backcourt. But whatever. But not our problem. I'm glad the Lakers don't have to defend Bones Highland. Great point, Jamie.
No, I thought that move maybe gave them flexibility for the future, but weakened them this year. I get that they weren't going to re-sign him. It's like the Thomas Bryant. You know who I wish we had in this series is Thomas Bryant. Like, it's the second series in a row where I'm like, why did we let go of the bigger, high energy, can hit shots guy? For what? For that guy we're going to waive in the offseason? We're not going to pick up his contract because it's non-guaranteed and watch him walk away, because we're not spending 10 mil, which is 30 mil.
Yeah, it's just a shame. Unfortunately, it looks like he was just collateral damage on both sides.
And he's not playing in this series either, right? Like, he's just sitting on the bench.
He's not Michael Malone's cup of tea. Great shooter when he's on, but he's not much of a passer, and you need to be able to have some chops.
But he's got enough I think in this series he could have had enough bulk to be a bigger, better version of Rui Hachimura, and that you could have then had Rui on the floor. You would have had the bit. You would have been able to match up better size and weight, which is a thing.
And one thing tonight is that, okay, if Darvin Ham's going to play D'Lo about 25, 30 minutes.
30. He's going to play 25, 30. There's no getting around.
If they're going to pick on him, then LeBron's, okay, all right, we can play quid pro quo. You're going to pick on him. I'm going to find somebody else to pick on.
I'm going to pick on Murray. I'm going to pick on Brown.
Yeah, because Jamie, I saw it with my own eyes. You saw it with your own eyes. In Game 6, he was, and we're talking about D'Lo here, he was able to back down Curry and shoot 16 to 20 footers over him. Just those turnaround Jays. I don't understand why he can't do that against Murray. He's bigger than Murray. He's just as strong, if not stronger.
I hope they make that adjustment. That's a great point, though.
Yeah, because I saw him do that with Curry. I think he could do the same thing with Murray, because Murray doesn't want to be overtly physical with D'Lo because he'll get in foul trouble. I mean, you see it. Jamal Murray has trouble defending physically if he's not allowed to touch or grab or pull.
Right. Like many. Like
DeMar DeRozan had it right. We got a lot of sorry in the league, and he was right.
100% correct.
Compton's own dropping some truth bombs again.
For real. So that one of my Laker fivers was control the glass. Whoops in Game 1, right? minus 17 in the rebound battle, and they killed us on the offensive glass. Killed us in second chance points. That can never happen again.
Yeah, that's a pride.
It can never happen again.
Yeah.
And I love the coach's excuse, like, well, a lot of the balls bounce their way. A lot of the times the Lakers stand there and wait for the rebound to come in.
Yeah.
That was one of the things we lost when we traded Russ. It's one of the things we lost when we traded Pat Bev.
Because
we got offense, but we lost rebounding. And
yeah, Jamie, and you've talked about this, I don't know how many years, like since the LA Times blog, really, about how, like, the best rebounders track the ball. They just don't sit there and wait for it. You think, it's off the back iron, so it's going to go over there. Like, they just know how to track it. They have a nose for it.
It's a bank shot. It's going to bank away from the shooter. It's going to go across the court the other freaking direction. The other thing,
talked about that as well, as you have too, Jamie. It's like,
you can't rebound with your feet on the ground.
You got to watch and run. Like, you have to do two things at the same time.
And guards can't rebound with their feet on the ground. Guards got to jump. The whole first quarter, I watched. I mean, AD can rebound with his feet on the ground, and you kind of don't want him jumping for rebounds. But I'm watching D'Lo, Reeves, Schroeder not jumping for the rebound. You got to go up 2 hands high. If you come down on somebody's ankle and they call a foul, okay, this is playoff basketball. You need to get them bored, man. Like, you got to play to win. You can't play for, like, well, I hope it's better tomorrow. No. 2 hands high. Feet off the ground. That's how guards got to rebound in the NBA, especially in the playoffs. And we're not going to win if we don't rebound like that. Some of the balls didn't bounce our way. Like Phil Jackson says, you create your own luck. If you were rebounding correctly, some of those balls would have bounced our way. And I want to say this about Game 1 too. For all the adjustments, for as poorly as we played in the first half, this game, you could argue, came down to 3 horse shots. Like, make that shot again, bro. That Jokic made one with 80 in his face as the clock expired. Murray made one from the corner, or from the wing, and I want to say Brown made one from the corner with somebody draped, like Reeves or somebody draped all over him. And I would dare all 3 of those guys to make those same shots. And that's 9 points right there in what was a 6-point game, I think, 7-point game. On top of that, if LeBron doesn't take 2 ill-advised 3-point shots inside of a minute to play, and just takes it to the hole like he's supposed to do, like he's good at. He's a 25% 3-point shooter in the playoffs. He's terrible. He needs to adjust. And I know he doesn't want to do it because he's afraid of getting hurt, but he will not win if he does not do it. That is the law. That's the way it is. It's it's like the Mandalorian. This is the way. You will not win shooting threes in this, and especially in this series. You will not win shooting threes, LeBron, and you need to take it to the cup. You will get fouled in the fourth quarter. You will go to the line. There's the other 3-point play, the OG 3-point play that you have to rely on. Murray's not going to foul you. He's going to let you roll to the rim because he's got 5 fouls. LeBron is usually a smarter basketball player than I saw him in the last 2 minutes of game 1, and I expect that adjustment to be made as well.
Jamie, it was really interesting. In the first, I find Draymond Green to be a very polarizing athlete. However, his mind is top 5% all time as far as like a basketball mind is concerned. So when he talks about basketball, I tend to listen to what he has to say. Don't always agree, but like you, I listen to what he's got to say. He was talking about how the big adjustment he would make defensively isn't necessarily AD going off Jokic, because he said AD's a big boy. He understands the nuances of the game. He'll figure out how he needs to be a hybrid. He said he would put Vando on Murray because he thought that Vando's ability and his length to control space with Steph, not exactly timing, but space, was huge, because Vando is such an imposing, lengthy guy that he could take away a lot of your space. Maybe not necessarily your time, depending on whether you're cutting right or you're blocking or is it an off ball, but he can make up a lot of ground, Jamie. So I mean,
you got to make these guys work.
I would throw it out there. I mean, see if it sticks.
I would throw it out there too. I think that this is so I've got, if there's going to be a lineup change, it has to be Schroeder sits, Reeves slides back to the 2, and it has to be one of 3 guys starting at the 3 that isn't LeBron James. Could be Vando, could be Walker, could be Rui. I can see pluses and minuses for all 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting the best consistent offense, I think, out of Rui. You're getting the most dynamic offense out of Lonnie Walker, in that he can catch and shoot threes. He can drive to the hole. He's got great, he needs to cut a little bit more often than he does on the floor. And also people need to see him when he's cutting a little bit more often than they tend to. And with Vando, you're getting the best, I think, potential defense and rebounding. I think that the reason the Lakers went away from Vando starting was because of adjustments Golden State made. I think the mistake was not believing that it still couldn't work off the bat in this series, and that they just kind of continued what worked in game 6, which was that was after many moves of chess had been made, right? It wasn't how the series started.
No,
we won game 1 with Vando on Murray.
Yes.
Or on Curry.
On Steph, yep.
So that's when I saw Schroeder starting, I thought this is a bad sign. And it was. And so I hope if they don't learn, that's a rookie mistake right there. That's a rookie coaching mistake right there. You gotta see that adjustment. In fact, they went with it for too long in game 1, in my opinion. So I'm a little worried about that, to be honest, because like you said, Coach Ham loves those 3-guard lineups. He just thinks they're the bee's knees. But this 3-guard lineup is too small and doesn't have the rebounding tenacity that is required to take Denver down. I don't, unless they all start hitting threes at an absurd percentage, which they won't, because the law of averages. And that's the Lakers. And they don't, Dennis doesn't look for a shot. He doesn't look for a shot. He barely even shoots it when he's open, which is a problem. It's a big problem. So there's my 5 things that I dropped was control the glass, didn't happen. Pick your poison with Jokic, didn't happen. He went off for points and assists. The other is keeping Murray under 50% shooting. Shot 12 for 20, 4 of 8 from 3. That's not going to work. He needs to be 8 for 20, 7 for 20, 9 for 20. He cannot shoot 50%. You can't let Jamal Murray shoot 50%, and you can't let Jokic average more than 13 assists, 12 assists for the series, and score more than 30 points. Keep Jokic under 20 points. All right, fine. Let him go off for 15, 14 assists. That's fine. 30 plus points, it's not going to work. That means that guy alone is scoring 60 to 70 points per game, responsible for, I should say.
And while facilitating everybody else eating, which
making
complicates your problems.
Easy shots for Murray, 50% shooting shots for Murray, 50% shooting shots or better for MPJ, 50% or better shooting shots for all the role players, or cuts for Brown. All of these things. That is untenable. You have to make Denver work for points. You can't gift them points. And we gifted them a good 20 points in the last game off of second chance points, easy baskets off of passes, and things like that. Richard, I think they've already adjusted. Listen, everybody is giving Rui Hachimura a lot of praise, and I guess, well, they should. But to be honest, I really just think Jokic tired out. I think he had put in a supreme effort for 3 quarters. He played, close to the entire game. And I think he ran out of gas a little bit. His conditioning is still probably the weakest part of his game. He is not an elite NBA athlete. He's an above average at this point NBA athlete with ridiculously elite offensive skills.
See, and one good and don't mean to get into the weeds here, but one of the great aspects of finding something that works competitively, especially in sports, is that you're watching what's working, but you're also thinking about how is that other team going to adjust to what's working. And that allows you to also think about, well, I'm going to have to make an adjustment off that. So Jamie, this is where it works, where guys always talk about like 3 or 4 moves down the road. It's like a chessboard. It's like the master chess players don't think 3 or 4 moves down the board. They think 7 to 9 moves down the board.
Right.
And that's where this comes into play. And I'm feeling pretty good about tonight. It's not overconfidence. Darvin Ham has been 6-0 in the playoffs thus far after a loss. And in every game, his teams haven't come out flat. So that's the key here. If they don't come out flat with whatever game plan they're rolling with, I think it bodes well in the fourth. We were down by 20, came back. It was a valiant effort, but you need to look at
20
this.
Was just too much.
Yeah. This is a bit. I said it previously. Look at this as a business trip. Split it. Go 1-1.
Yep.
Because in every other series that you've done a business trip on, you've come back and you've taken care of business at home. I think the same outcome can occur, but they gotta get to work here, Jamie. This is
100%.
This is about Sonwood. It's not about watching the pretty girls and eating ice cream. This is 8 wins away from the finals, and you got to start tonight.
8 wins from the finals, and look, so you mirrored one of my point number 5. Point number 4 was our team has to be better than their team. Our team was not. Schroeder and D'Lo were, I think, 6 for 14, and most of those misses were on D'Angelo Russell, but also a lack of aggression, a lack of punishment from Schroeder. Can't just shoot 2 for 3 and play okay defense against this team. You need to come out. The recipe for our wins was out the starting 5. When Vando was in it, the starting 5 had guys averaging close to 10 points each, if not more.
Yep.
And somebody off the bench came up with 15 to 20. Rui did his part. He came off the bench. He scored 15 to 20 and played great defense.
Yep.
The rest of the starting 5 didn't. D'Lo and Schroeder specifically didn't show up enough to make this a game. Those guys, if they're going to stay in the starting lineup, Schroeder's got to get 10 and 5. Be responsible for close to 20 points. Same with D'Lo. You might not have all the assists in the world, but hit some threes, space the floor, keep your man on you. That's going to go a long way. The other thing, LeBron's got to operate out of the post more. We were dynamite with LeBron handling the ball in the post. Nobody could stop him. He worked his way to the basket for easy points in the paint and help get the other team in foul trouble with that kind of style of play. he has to stick with what works. He can't just get tired and lazy and shoot threes. And it's not, I'm not saying don't take the open three if it comes your way. You got to take the open shots. It can't be your first shot. It can't be the first attempt. It can't be before you've even tried to work it inside. It can't be like, oh, we came down here, it's 5 seconds into the shot clock, I'm kind of tired. No, it's not. You're gonna lose. You lose the basketball game if you play like that. And we have to go, like you're saying, we have to go full board. We have to adapt. Whatever happens, whatever counter, if putting Rui on Jokic again the second time doesn't work because Jokic is just much better than Rui Hachimura is at basketball, then you got to adapt again. You can't settle. You can't just think what worked. This team is too good. People are trying to be like, oh, well, we beat Memphis. Memphis was a team that was imploding. Golden State was a team that was imploding. This team isn't imploding. This team is hungry. This team is like Miami. Miami's hungry, and they showed it in game 1 against Boston. Boston has this weird sense of entitlement that, like, well, we went to the finals last year. We know how to get there again. No, you don't.
They think they think they're Wile E. Coyote, and there's no Roadrunner.
Right.
Jimmy Butler's the Roadrunner.
Jimmy Butler's the Roadrunner.
He is the Roadrunner. He is the Roadrunner.
He's every Looney Tune character that was the.
And if he wins game 2, he's the Road Warrior, as far as I'm concerned.
Listen, real quick on that series, if Boston doesn't win game 2, they're going to get swept.
That is trouble.
It won't be a gentleman's sweep. It'll just be a straight sweep.
Because they got spanked in that second half.
They couldn't figure out how to get Tatum the ball. And then when he did, he couldn't figure out how to shoot.
He traveled. They're starting to finally call him for traveling. Yeah.
Well, Jamal Murray also gets 3 steps, but that's
yeah. Well, that's something I'd also like to see. Maybe once tonight. I mean, just once.
I don't want to. No, because everybody takes 3 steps these days. I listen. Let it go. I'd rather see us get some offensive fouls called on screens than traveling calls. But listen, I remember
Jamie. I was telling Gerald and Joe this yesterday, and I think you can reiterate this as a hardcore Lakers fan as well. Look, Derek Fisher took a lot of crap from Laker fans in that period because it was the bougie point guard scorer, right, Jamie? Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose, and of course, Fish was always on them, right? But one of the reasons why we loved Fish so much is because he was tough. And he fought over screens, not under screens, even if it made him look a little slower than he was. Because he understood the game from a physical standpoint. And I think maybe game 1 just woke them up a little bit that, this is a more physical team than you've played. Yeah. Memphis was a more athletic defensive team. They weren't exactly physical. They were missing that same paper because of Steven Adams. Yeah. Denver
I said it was a bad.
And now we've come up to a team, and like Jamie's saying, they've got sandpaper. Aaron Gordon. Jokic is a big boy when he's rocking those screens. He's tough. Yeah. A lot of people think that just because he doesn't have verticality, that he's a poor defender. He's tough. He is very physical.
And he's learned how to use his body better in the last 3 years than when we faced them in the Western Conference Finals in the bubble.
Absolutely.
When we left him, he was but a learner. Now he is the master. And so, that's legit, man. There ain't no getting away from that. But I will say this. I always thought we would, even before the series started, I thought we would lose game 1 for a variety of reasons. Hey, what's up, LakerNic? And I also thought that game 2 would be the game that we would need to go back and look at film, that we would need to adjust to the altitude, even though I kind of think that's a BS excuse. And we would need to kind of come up with lineups and rotations that worked a little better because we haven't encountered a team like this. This Laker team never even played Denver. All the times we played Denver in the regular season was with Russ and Pat Bev and that group of guys. So this is all, all new for both parties. And the Nuggets, no offense, the Nuggets have chemistry. They know it works. The only thing they've been missing is Murray getting healthy, and now he's healthy, right? So that tandem was good before. They just needed to figure out how to use Aaron Gordon on defense as a spot-up three-point shooter, slasher on occasion. Same with MPJ. Both Browns are solid off the bench or in the starting lineup, however they're used. And KCP, who's like the forgotten man on every team he's on, came up with some big buckets in game one. Those are the guys, Reeves has got to be better than KCP. Rui's got to be better than MPJ. Then Murray and LeBron are going to cancel each other out. Jokic and AD are going to cancel each other out. Now it's the rest of the team that has to step up and beat the Nuggets. And that didn't happen in game one, and it needs to happen in game two.
Absolutely. And as we're also joined here by LakerNic. LakerNic, thanks for stopping by. We're almost at the end of the snack pack, but we're happy you joined us. And what are your thoughts on game two, and what are you looking forward to seeing that you didn't see in game one?
Yeah, what's up, Sean? What's up, Jamie? I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, I'm sure this has been said now ad nauseum, but I'll repeat that I want Rui Hachimura on the starting lineup. I want a big body or a mobile big body on Nikola Jokic. I think that in the last game, the Joker was able to dominate, especially in the first half, because no one was really making life hard for him. But in this case, I think you just definitely need to start Rui Hachimura. I would not go small and start Dennis Schroeder. I believe D'Lo is probably there to stay in the starting lineup, but given what he gave in the last game, D'Lo just needs to be much better offensively. We know that we can't count on him on the defensive side, but hopefully he gets his shot to drop. He was unable to make a single three-pointer in the last game, by the way. And ultimately, overall, just better on the rebounds. Joker was able to eat throughout the entire game, especially in the first half. He ended with 21 rebounds in the last game, and AD had less than half at 10. So hoping we all improve on those areas, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, Coach Ham said he was considering it after game one. There officially is no word on whether or not he's made lineup changes. I think we'll find out probably an hour before tip. That's usually when they're reporting. I'm with you, Nick. I half expect that Rui is already in the starting lineup. I think it's just going to be official when they come out. I would also bring Vando, like Jamie was saying, I'd bring Vando and Dennis off the bench immediately. Draymond Green was discussing the idea that he would put Jared Vanderbilt, Vando on Jamal Murray, Nick, because as he observed in the semifinals, Vando's length imposes a lot of problems, especially with spacing. Not necessarily timing, but he cuts off a lot of space and he eats it up. So what do you think about Murray?
Yeah, I think we lost Sean right now, Jamie.
Oh.
So, yep.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, Sean.
So again, Nick, what are your thoughts on Vando checking Murray?
Yeah. No, I think Vando, to your point, Sean, I think Vando is definitely, it's it's a basic truth, right? That he's an extremely effective defender. Unfortunately, he comes at a offensive cost. He's basically a minus on the offensive side of the ball. That said, I think Vando, given his length, his mobility on defense, his lateral movement, I think he could make life hard on Murray. And whatever points Vando might not be able to get, he might be able to avoid by being on Murray and making life tough on him. So yeah, I just feel that you can't have a game where Nikola Jokic is having 21 rebounds, having 14 assists. By the way, people have been kind of neglecting to talk about that. Like, where are all the defenders trying to block passing lanes, trying to make shots difficult for other Denver Nuggets? That said, as Joe Soro was explaining in the last post game, the Denver Nuggets just had basically every crazy wild shot go in, and you can't expect that to happen in every game. And I don't expect
3 horse
that to happen
shots to
tonight.
hit. 3 horse shots.
Yeah.
3 HORSE 3-pointers minimum.
Yeah,
Minimum.
you can't expect that to happen today. I hope it doesn't. And I really, I feel good about this, Sean. I remember in the last post game you said that you weren't worried. I'm encouraged by you being not worried. I hope Jamie isn't worried either. But yeah, I want to feel optimistic. I want to feel
Yeah,
optimistic.
well, I feel good in the sense that I think one of the big adjustments should be that you don't necessarily change your defensive scheme for the whole team, but you do change it with him. So it's not as if you have. It's almost as if you have 2 game plans: one for him and one for the 4 other guys on the floor with him. I think if you throw a lot of hybrid looks at him and a lot of multiple looks, like LeBron on him, Rui on him, AD, I think that causes set confusion. We saw that in the conference finals in the bubble. When AD was able to roam, there was a lot of set confusion and guys missed their spots or missed their shots. So I'm looking for AD just to have an overall bounce back game defensively. I think he'll have, he should have more than 15 boards, especially after the performance last game. And we need this victory. We need it badly. So I'm expecting us to come out guns a-blazing. They need to run. Denver got way too many transition opportunities. It's not as if they killed us, but they just feasted on their opportunities. We need to run in transition because they're terrible at it. They had terrible interior defense all year. We ate in game 1, but it was just we couldn't stop them. So we need this victory, guys. I'm feeling good about it. I'm glad everybody showed up. So with that, we'll cut this snack pack off right now. But we'll be watching the game on playback if you want to join us there. If not, hit us up on the post game. We'll be back, hopefully talking about the series going 1-1 back to LA. Talk to you later, everybody.
I'll see you. Everybody take care.
Go Lakers.
Go Lakers.